So there are apparently some things in Final Fantasy XIV that we can never talk about, otherwise we're getting in trouble. Let's find out what those things are.
Hey you, wanna know how to start a keyboard war in Final Fantasy XIV?
Yes, please.
My big manager told me I really need to rebrand this video if I don't want to get banned, so allow me to rephrase the question. Do you know how to avoid arguments in 14? I'm just going to assume you said no, because otherwise this video is completely useless. Don't even worry.
You know what's funny? I think I never ever had an argument in Final Fantasy XIV, but in any other MMO I had one. Does that mean that the community is like super positive in Final Fantasy XIV? Like I never argued with anyone, surprisingly.
Sorry about it, human, because I have spent a lot of my time wasting my time lurking on subreddits, discords, YouTube comments, and even the dreaded official forums section. And now I have my hand on the bleeding heart of this best ever community. Whatever you do, do not use these and throw them into Reddit like a hand grenade and run away before the place explodes. This video is meant to help people avoid embarrassing and controversial situations in game. I'll even name it something real clickbaity like never talk about these 10 things in Final Fantasy XIV. Oh yeah, that's it. Now Yoshi P is definitely gonna give me some of Daddy's This is the part of the YouTube video where I remind you that liking, commenting, and subscribing to the Cringe Empire lets you see a special secret rap at the end of every video. And when you subscribe to my channel, one blue mage casts self-destruct. Join the good fight, human. Alright, so the first and probably most infamous argument starter, should healers have to DPS? If you weren't there back in the 2.0 to 3.0 days, here's the gist. If a healer wanted to deal decent damage, they needed to use Cleric Stance, which swapped their mind stat to intelligence. This meant you couldn't heal for shit until you turned it off. Then in 4.0, they removed the skill and made healer damage scale off of the mind stat. So now that it's piss easy to deal damage, it's no—
That's very, very good that they changed it. Like, I think this would have been annoying if this would have stayed in the game like that, where you have to switch on and off with that. But yeah, healers, they should always DPS if you want to be a top healer. Like, try to find some dots or some simple rotation you can keep up while healing. Like, there are some MMOs, like, where you literally just focus on almost healing itself. Like, I think WoW, for example, like, you still do DPS, right? But you don't do it really that much. You're mostly focusing on healing. But I feel like in FF14, for example, you're like 50% DPS, 50% heal or something like that, right? So it's definitely different. Like, you're way more aggressive as a healer in FF14.
No longer socially acceptable to drool all over the keyboard while spamming Cure 3 on single target. Nowadays, the majority of healers will DPS without issue, but anti-healer DPS trolls will come crawling out of their graves if you bring up the topic in any way, shape, or form. Save yourself the headache and just don't. Trust me. Number 2, and let me know if this phrase triggers your fight or flight instinct. You pull it, you tank it. I feel like this one isn't really specific to 14. It probably haunts other MMOs too, but this argument comes up every other day on forums. Some players think only tanks should pull, and that it's extremely rude to do it for them. And the other side thinks it's more rude to waste other people's time and not go at the pace that the party wants. There's a lot of other stuff that gets—
I mean, it is safer if a tank pulls it. Like, what if you pull something that does like a lot of DPS? Like, it's better than the tank does it, because the tank will not get one-shotted, right? But like, there are sometimes situations though you get too close to a mob and you accidentally pull it, and there's always like a way for the tank though to aggro it, right? So the DPS is safe again.
It's argued about when it comes to large pulls like tank or healer skill, whether the DPS are using AoE properly, lower broken gear. I could keep going, but I'd rather eat at a Burger King than see this argument rehashed ever again.
It's an annoying argument.
This topic flies under the radar sometimes, but usually comes back around anytime a cool looking Mog Station item gets released. Not much to say here. Some players just really hate the fact that there's a cash shop in a subscription based MMO. Pretty silly, right? I mean, there's just so much content in the game that no one ever unsubs anyway. Can't believe they expect these items to be available with in-game events or actual quests or something.
Yeah, I feel like the community is quite divided about this, like in FF14. In World of Warcraft, oh shit, there are like tons of arguments about the cash shop. Like, I've seen players roast other players because they got like a freaking store mount. Like, there are people that are literally anti-store mount in World of Warcraft, and they will actually roast players that get a mount from the shop. But in FF14, like, I feel like the community is quite divided. Some people are like super accepting, and some are like, I wish this was for free. But one thing is good about the FF14 community, though. Like, I never see them like run around and insult others and be like, look at you, you buy stuff from the store. Oh my god, look at you, show off and stuff like that. Like, I've never witnessed that in Final Fantasy 14. I've only seen this in World of Warcraft so far.
With in-game events or actual quests or something. Other people don't care and see it as a way to support the devs beyond just paying their sub. This
That's why I said the community is divided.
But the people who don't like it tend to really not like it, so just steer clear. Number 4, and this one's a biggie. Never tell someone that you find the job they play really easy. I mean it, human. Don't you dare. There's
this would lead to big arguments.
Have about their job being considered difficult by the vast.
You know what's the issue with this and why you shouldn't say this to someone, like, oh, your job is so easy? Because this is like saying to someone you are a noob in a way. If you are saying to someone that what you play is easy, it's like saying this person is a noob and couldn't play something that's more difficult indirectly, right? So if you say this will lead to an argument for sure. And yeah, by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget, hit that subscribe button for more content. There are more reactions to Final Fantasy 14 coming, more Let's Plays, and a lot of more stuff, so be prepared.
Have about their job being considered difficult by the vast majority of the community, and if you tell them you don't think it is, it kinda hurts their ego. I mean, some people will be cool about it and agree with you.
It's like saying you're noob,
I don't
basically
recommend taking the risk. If you really just want to watch the world burn, make sure you say that Dancer and Summoner are difficult. As of 6.0, the community has decided you could play these jobs with your toes while eating a messy burrito and mid-brain aneurysm. Reminder, never go against the hive mind, human. And jumping off of that, number 5, don't tell people that you think the game itself is hard either. Listen, if you're new to the game, it's only natural you find it challenging, at least at first. Some people have a tendency to forget that we haven't all been playing this game from the moment we escaped our...
I actually think differently on that. Like, if someone comes to me and says this game is hard, I'm not gonna bully them for that. But I see like why some people would make fun of this player and be like, what, this game is hard? Because, like, what is if someone plays FF14 as their first ever MMO, or they come from something completely different, like strategy games or maybe shooting games, right? So, of course, it's difficult for them because they never played it before, and it also depends on the age of a player. What if someone that's, like, really, really old gets into gaming, someone that never had anything to do with gaming and it's, like, their first game, like... I don't know, it depends on the situation also and the background of the player, but I'm not this kind of person that would bully someone and make fun of them because they are new to the game.
People have a tendency to forget that we haven't all been playing this game from the moment we escaped our mother's womb prison. If you mention that you find any main story dungeons or solo instances difficult, you will be made fun of on the internet. They will go to great lengths to explain why the game is pitifully easy casual bait. If the idea of that terrifies me, I can only imagine you're shaking in your boots right now. My best advice is to not take it personally. The entire community has a bit of gamer PTSD due to trials being made easier and easier over time. It's a bit of a sore subject. Number 6 without the 9. Now don't feel bad if you've done this, because this one is a topic I myself haven't learned to shut up about. To put it simply, don't talk about job design. I mean, don't talk about it being good or bad, because no matter which opinion you have, someone will very strongly disagree with you. Definitely don't mention that you think a certain job is OP or...
Now I can think of someone from my FC that strictly plays a Dark Knight. Like, there's this one person, I'm not gonna say his name, but he is so much in love with Dark Knight. He doesn't want to play anything but Dark Knight, Dark Knight, Dark Knight, Dark Knight. He has like endless amounts of freaking glamour on it too and stuff. Like, I know this one guy, he's so in love. If you ever say something bad about Dark Knight, he's gonna get really pissed. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of us know at least one person that has like a super main character that they freaking worship almost. Like a main job, like, oh, I love this job so much. Oh, and there's one person also that is a samurai, and this person is also very, very extreme about it. Like, samurai is the best, yeah, samurai. So yeah, I know a Dark Knight and a samurai like that.
think a certain job is OP or needs to be nerfed. We don't take kindly to nerfing talk round these parts, cowboy. Don't be like me, kids. There is no winning here. Only the destruction of long-time friendships awaits you if you walk down this dark path. And for lucky number 7, we have Leggings! Yay! Obligatory warning that talking about this in-game can get you banned, so straight up, don't do it. Unless the idea of being in Yoshi P's naughty player dungeon gets you all hot and bothered. Sorry, I regret that one. So anyway, there's debate over how plugins should be used. Some are okay with parsing DPS numbers, but draw the line at using plugins that give them unfair advantages, like 100% accurate mechanic callouts, or lowering their ping down to 0.
That's not even allowed, that's the thing.
Modding every girl character to be automatically naked and well-endowed, both on top and, down below. You can imagine why there's some controversy here. Honestly...
Wait, there are such add-ons that let you undress the characters completely? I didn't know that. Okay, interesting to know.
I think many people are scarred by the WoW debacle, where the devs began designing encounters with plugins in mind. And people don't want that to become the standard here. Me personally, I would love to see content designed with Fuda Cat girls in mind. For number 8, take my word for it and do not criticize the story. I mean, you can get away with talking bad about A Realm Reborn.
I think from all the 10 things you should never talk about, never talk bad about the story. I think this should be like number 1 or something of them. Like, I don't know what the next 2 will be, but this one is really like the strongest issue so far. Like, it's one thing talking about like class design, right? But holy shit, if you say stuff about the story, like I remember doing like my first Let's Play is also on this channel, so if you guys want to check it out, like people were roasting me in the comment section. I was getting like emails and shit like, hey Marcel, you should never skip any dialogue of the story. You have to fully consume the story. If you don't, this is so bad. Don't skip anything. Like people got upset about me just skipping through dialogue. So how will people be like if I say this story sucks or something like that? Like I will be in big trouble with like tens and hundreds of thousands of people probably. So yeah, if you talk bad about the story in Final Fantasy XIV, this is a no-go.
I mean, you can get away with talking bad about A Realm Reborn and sometimes Stormblood, but if you so much as imply that Heavensward and Shadowbringers are the absolute pinnacle of storytelling, you will be met with stinky samurai swords at the ready. It's totally fine if the story isn't your thing, but I don't recommend going around telling people how boring and stupid you find it, because the vast majority of us at least somewhat enjoy, if not simp, for the story of this
simp for it,
yes. It's not like every other MMO community where the story being bad is universally accepted. Let's just put it that way. 9 might seem kind of obvious, but if you ask any WoW player, they'll probably laugh and agree that their game is toxic as hell. But do not say this about the 14 community. Do not say that passive-aggressive behavior is also problematic. As long as they're not telling you how terrible you are at the game, it's fine if they type things like, never had anyone tell me that using the in-game free cure trait was a bad thing, but okay, mentor. I don't know if you've heard this already, but Final Fantasy XIV won the Best Community Award. And if you think some players hide their toxicity...
Yeah, but I'm actually wondering too if people are hiding their toxicity or not, because like I've never had an argument with anyone in Final Fantasy XIV, but in other games I did, or I had to solve arguments between 2 people in a group or something like that. Like even when people wipe, like we did like some random dungeons and stuff, and like what was like daily roulette, right? And like even when people wiped or they did some mistake and they ran into a mechanic and died, like I never experienced arguments or people like freaking kicking each other and stuff. Like I don't know what's up with the community there, but they all seem so positive and patient. Like in WoW, if I do like group finder, like dungeon finder, and then I'm like with some randoms, like every 3rd or 4th run, there's at least some sort of argument. Like I can have 2-3 nice key runs, and after 2-3 runs, I encounter one run where there's like some issue between at least 2 people. So yeah, every week I experience this in WoW basically, because every week I do like a couple of M+s. So yeah.
reward. And if you think some players hide their toxicity behind subtle griefing behaviors, you would be right, but you will also be met with a lot of whataboutisms referring to WoW. The 14 community isn't the best of all time, as the Moist Meter King would say, but they pride themselves on being hashtag better than WoW. Better not piss on that parade. And number 10, it's very similar to number 9. Do not talk badly about the devs. This is one of the most controversial things on this list, and if you talk about the developers in a slightly negative way, and Satan forbid it's about Yoshi P, the 14 Lord and Savior of all people, you will be assassinated. I guarantee.
She's actually not so wrong about it. That's, I think, the second most important thing you should not talk about after the story. Or should I put it first? No, I think I would put this as second highest, because like there's a deep connection between the players and the dev, and this is actually like, this is crazy that the devs and the players are so close. And you know what's funny? Like, I've seen a video of the devs actually doing a meme dance to a meme that the community created. So the devs are even watching the memes of the players. And if the devs are going that far to even watch the memes of the players, or Yoshi P, for example, he actually casually sometimes will like do a dungeon or something with like people. Like, he actually plays the game. Like, the thing about like the devs in Final Fantasy XIV is they're actually playing the game. So many MMO devs, they don't play their own games, but in FF14 they do, and the players, they know it, and some players have even met Yoshi P in-game before and stuff. So there's some deep love, some deep bond between the player base and the devs. So yeah, if you're trying to say anything bad, of course they're gonna be defending the devs. Yeah, don't ever say anything bad about the devs in FF14, or you'll get assassinated.
All people, you will be assassinated. I guarantee it. If you've ever wondered why small indie company is a meme here, it's because some players treat them as if they're a tiny dev team that should never be criticized. You may be thinking to yourself, but they're literally part of Square Enix.
They're having many live streams too, talking to players.
How dare you say it out loud? Scroll through the comments, and one day there will be at least one person responding to this part of this video. The devs work really hard. They care about the game. They're not greedy like other devs, etc., etc. Which is proof this should be on the list. No worries, human. I'm happy to take this bullet for you. I'm used to it by now. And an extra sore subject for you to avoid. Welcome to our final surprise topic, number 11. This one's crucial, so get out your pen and paper. Do not say you like other MMOs better than 14. If you don't follow any of my other advice on this list, at least listen to this one. Anything is true about us 14 players. We hate WoW. Terra Online, can't stand it. Lost Ark, damn, that's crazy. Hope he finds it. Blade and Soul, gamers don't have a soul. Yeah, no. If you imply this game isn't the best MMO on the market, you will be shunned. Whenever you try to mention something 14 could improve on, you will always be met with, but this MMO is worse, which shuts down every conversation on the matter. Don't waste.
Okay, maybe the RAM I'm on Lich. People are maybe different a bit, because I know some people from my FC and also that I know in-game, they play also sometimes other MMOs a bit. So I didn't know that like some people would get like this upset if you say, hey, I also like another MMO. Like, okay, nobody's saying stuff like direct, yeah, this one is so much better. Like, why would you be playing like one MMO all the time if you think some other MMO is much better? Then you would be playing that game that is much better, right? But there are some people that almost like equally like some MMOs. Like for me, for example, I'm this kind of person. There will be a day I will play World of Warcraft because I feel like I want to play World of Warcraft. And there's a day I will play Final Fantasy XIV because on this day I feel like I really want to play FF14. And there are like a lot of players like that. So I'm actually surprised that she also mentions here that some people are actually getting upset about that. Or if you talk good about other MMOs. Interesting. But yeah, there may be some hardcore fans that might get upset, so let's just avoid that, I guess.
Always be met with, but this MMO is worse, which shuts down every conversation on the matter. Don't waste your time. I mean, if you're planning to quit the game for good anyway, you should just use Shout Chat and Limsa Lamenza and say, wow, it's so much better than this game. Can't believe you weeaboos enjoyed this garbage. And sit back to enjoy the carnage. Only use this as a last resort though, because it can inflict psychological damage on Mikote players. And there you have it, folks. 11 things you should never talk about in 14, unless you want to be universally hated. Then definitely talk about these things. Talk about them a lot. In fact, you should be like the Sephiroth of 14, just popping into our lives with hot takes that no one ever asked for, creating a rift between, I don't know, healers and tanks? Wait, the devs already did that for you. Wait, no, that wasn't me criticizing the devs. Oh, a video over now. Stop. Cut the tape. Cut the... I am the one winged gamer, doing y'all a favor. Bad opinions, but admit they got some flavor. And if you've got some time, here's a run that you can savor. One more reminder, Yoshi P is our savior. A great creator that doesn't need haters, and it makes you a traitor to say you can do greater. Don't know Japanese, but I'm still his translator. Suck his 12-inch potato. Call that a dictator. Eat it up in your crater, or save it for later. Chew you up, spit you out. Masticator, give it up, Sims, making all our little hearts waver. New novel, seduced by the fortune.
Hey, it's actually not bad. Yeah, let me like this video. This is actually very informative. So now we know what we should not talk about. Like, I actually love how Lucy Pyre is like rapping each time after her videos. Like, I've noticed that, like, she makes her outros each time with a couple of bars like crazy. Like, that's cool. But yeah, you should not talk bad about the story. Like, I knew that. You have to be careful with, like, if you say anything negative about the devs. But to be honest, I have not even anything negative I can say about the devs, because I have not seen anything negative yet. Like what is there that I could say that's negative about the devs? I mean, they listen to the community, they listen to feedback, they even reworked the summoner, right? And some people were upset about certain things with the summoner. And like, they're having a lot of live streams and stuff where they actually reveal parts of what's going on. They're showing some sort of roadmap, like, okay, next goal is this, we're gonna do this next time. With that expansion, we will add this. Like, I think they're pretty close to the community, so it's like very hard or difficult to even find anything negative to complain about. Like in WoW, for example, you can complain about the devs because they harass others. What else are they doing? They're not listening to the community. They're adding systems that nobody wants and that people pointed out in the forums for months, maybe some even for years. Like, there's a lot you can actually say bad about the devs because you have material, you have something that's negative that you can blame the devs for, right? But you don't have this in Final Fantasy XIV because there isn't like a huge class imbalance, there isn't like a super meta, and the fact that there are no add-ons allowed, like DPS add-ons and stuff, you will not even know if there's a balance issue with something, because you don't know, are you doing more or less DPS than your friend, right? So they're actually really smart by not adding any add-ons, because if you have like a DPS add-on and you see, oh shit, this person is also DPS, he has like max gear but he does like 5-10% more damage, oh, this could lead to issues. But yeah, you don't have this in Final Fantasy XIV, so everyone's like pretty chill, they're just about the look, about like whatever. Like, even race doesn't matter, right? Yo, that's actually funny. Like, this was entertaining to watch. And that with like the class design, and I know a lot of players like that in different MMOs. I know them in ESO. Like, I know some guy that's like a Templar in ESO. If you say anything bad about Templar, he will like hate you, he will insult you, freaking ban you, block you, whatever. I know in World of Warcraft there are some people that are freaking simping for Death Knight. If you say anything bad about Death Knight, they're gonna come at you, literally. Like, it's in every MMO like that. So I'm sure FF14 has that too. Like I said, the Samurai guy that I know, the Dark Knight guy that I know, they're extremely main about their main, so holy shit, this was entertaining to watch. So yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. There's one thing I really want to know from you guys. Have you ever encountered any situation where any of the points that Lucy Pyre just mentioned were the case, where you or someone said something about, oh, this class is so easy to play, or the devs are not good, or if you pull, you tank? Have you encountered such situation and ended up in an argument? Please let me know in the comment section. I'm super curious because I've never had any issues in FF14 yet, and all of those points you just mentioned, even if there was something similar, it didn't lead to any argument, so I'm surprised at this. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time.